device, all you have to do is right click anywhere on it, and then you can either zoom in or zoom out. So I know that's been causing some people issues, so that's a quick fix for that. Now, once you're logged in, you can go and just send whatever messages you want, and it works perfectly. And so I'm going to close this so it's not in our way anymore, because that's annoying. And now you can see our messages are showing on the side of OBS so we can chat to people. And it's also showing on our screen. Now, for example, if we wanted to type out a very long message like this, and we don't want it to be this long, then what we can do is double click the chat source again, and we can change the height and width with these numbers. So I'm probably going to do 500 for the width instead, and then hit OK. And that way it reshapes the size of the chat box. You can also feel free to change the size using the corners like this, and just kind of move it to wherever you want. Though, once you find the spot that you want it to, I'd recommend locking it with this little lock button. So I'm going to lock both my webcam and the chat. So that way, if I'm like clicking around and dicking around or whatever, then I'm not going to accidentally move it while I'm live. So I have these two locked now. So this is a pretty basic just chatting scene. We got our webcam, we got our chat on the screen, and we got our chat box in OBS. So let's make a quick gameplay scene. So we're going to go and switch scenes to our gameplay scene. As you can see, it faded there, and that's where the scene transitions comes into play. So if you wanted to instead fade and do a cut, like a direct cut, you'll change that to cut. We'll click on just chatting again, and boom, it's just a quick cut. But if you want it to fade, you'll change it to fade, and you can change how long it lasts over here, boys. And then you can click on gameplay and it'll do exactly that. So let's build out our gameplay scene. The first thing we need to do is obviously boot up a game. So let's go over to Steam and just boot up a random game. So I've booted up everyone's favorite game, Hollow Knight. And now that we have our game on our screen, let's go back to OBS. If you have two monitors, that's fantastic because you can just have OBS on the side. But if you only have one monitor, it's going to be a pain in the butt. So what you're going to have to do is hold Alt and then hit Tab, and you'll be able to Alt Tab into your OBS back again. So now that our game is booted up, what we're going to do is add a new source. So we're going to click plus button under source. Then we're going to click game capture or display capture or window capture, because those three are three different options, and I'll go over each of them in case one of them doesn't work. So the first option is game capture. So we'll just leave it as game capture because it's pretty freaking obvious. Like, what the heck else is it? Click OK. And then now we're going to have the mode that we can change. So right now it's capture any full screen application, which right now it is not capturing. So what you can do is click and then do capture specific window, select the window, which in this case is going to be Hollow Knight, give it a second to load, and boom, we got our game capture on the screen. Now, if you're having problems with this, then what you can do is go back to any full screen application and then go into Hollow Knight. So what I'm going to do is I hit OK, go back to Hollow Knight. And if you're having troubles capturing your game, I recommend going to the in-game settings. So I'm going to go to Options, I'm going to go to Video. And if you have the option, you should try playing in borderless or borderless full screen, borderless windowed, whatever. Usually borderless windowed is the best. Or if you're really having options, just play it in windowed mode like so, and you'll be able to capture it a lot better. So I have full screen. Full screen's been known to cause some issues, but let's see if this works. As you can see, full screen is working for me on the any full screen application, which is cool because then we don't have to go and redo this every time we play a new game. For example, if we use capture specific window, obviously if you're playing, let's say Call of Duty, it's going to look for the Hollow Knight window, and it's not Hollow Knight, it's Call of Duty. So you're going to have to go in and change this again. It's really up to you, and sometimes they might give you issues like this, and every setup's going to be different. But let's go with a different option in case you don't want to use game capture. So I'm just going to click on the game capture source. I'm going to press the delete key, and then I'm going to delete this, and we're going to try using a display capture. So I'm going to click on display capture. We'll leave it as display capture, hit OK, and you'll see that it captures our entire screen. However, this is my second monitor, so I have to change that. So I go to display, and then I'm going to change it to my first monitor, which is the primary, and then you can see what I'd like to describe as hell. It's just a capture inside a capture inside a capture inside a capture, because I'm capturing my own screen, which is capturing that screen, so on and so forth. So yeah, display capture is great because that way it literally just captures everything on your screen. But that being said, if you have some sensitive information on your screen, you might not want to use this. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I say sensitive information, so don't act coy. So display capture is a really great capture method as well, but if it doesn't work for you or you just don't want to use it, we're going to delete it, and we're going to add a window capture as our last option. So I'm going to click window capture, OK, and you'll be able to do the same thing you did pretty much with the game capture. So we'll go to window, we'll go to, why is it not showing up? That's right, we have to go back to Hollow Knight, and change it back to borderless or windowed, because right now it's in full screen mode. So go to Hollow Knight, full screen off. We're going to do borderless. That's fine. Go back to OBS. Now we're going to click on the window tab, and we have to refresh it. So I'm going to cancel, double click on window capture. We have Hollow Knight tab right here, except what the heck? It's not capturing Hollow Knight. Well, that's because sometimes you have to go to capture method right here, change it from automatic to Windows 10 and up. Why you have to do that? I don't know. What do I look like, a freaking nerd to you? So you have those 3 options at your disposal. So once you find the one that you like, you can hit OK and you're good to go. So obviously we have our gameplay, but now we want to add our webcam, right? You don't have to add a webcam, but a lot of people like having a webcam, including myself, since it helps you build a relationship with your audience a lot easier, since they can see your emotions and see what the heck you actually look like. So I'm going to add a freaking webcam. So we're going to add a webcam by adding a new source, so plus button. Then we're going to do video capture device. But the cool thing is, since we've already added a webcam before, we can click Add Existing here. We're going to select webcam and then hit OK. Now this webcam is simply too freaking big. So what we're going to do is drag the corner down to how we want it, probably right around here. And that looks pretty good. Now, if you want to crop your webcam because you think it's too long, which being too long has never really been a problem. But what you can do is hold the Alt key down on your keyboard and then drag the sides and you can crop it. But for this instance, I'm going to leave it how it was before. So I'm going to hit Control Z or Z if you're Canadian, and then Control Z again, and it's going to undo everything I did. And now, if you remember, we talked about Owned and like how they had all that cool stuff. I'm going to use one of their webcam overlays in case you guys bought anything earlier. And if you didn't buy anything earlier, that's totally fine. Or if you want to buy something now, it's down in the description below. But just see how this works so you can understand how to do it in the future. So if I want to add a webcam overlay, which I do, I'm going to click Add New Source. If you're adding a static webcam overlay because it doesn't move, you're going to add an image. But I'm using an animated webcam overlay, so I'm going to add a media source. So I'm just going to call this webcam overlay, and then I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to hit the loop button because I want it to loop. And now we have to find that file. So I got the Dark Mode series package from Owned earlier, so I'm going to browse for it by clicking the browse button. I got the package right here, so I'm going to double click. I'm going to go to Files. You can see it literally came with everything like Twitch profile, YouTube banner, intermission, starting soon, panels, animated alert sounds, all that jazz. But I just want the animated overlay for the webcam right now. So I'm going to go to that folder. I'm going to choose this really minimalistic one because it gave us a bunch of options, but I'm going to go with the minimalistic one, and then I'm going to hit open. It's going to open it even if it doesn't show it, but that's fine because as soon as we hit OK, it's going to pop it on the screen right here. Now, this is a black webcam overlay over like a black game, which is pretty hard to match up. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it more in the middle to make it easier to see. And this is a good time to tell you about how things work for the sources list. The webcam overlay is above the webcam. You can see that it goes over the webcam. It'll be easier to show for the webcam and the background. The webcam is above the window capture, right? But if I drag the webcam below the window capture, it hides behind it. So you want to make sure that you have your source list set up appropriately, otherwise it's not going to work. So for example, the webcam overlay is supposed to go over the webcam because webcam overlay makes sense, right? If it doesn't make sense, then I don't know what to tell you. But you can go ahead and just make sure the webcam overlay is above the webcam, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is drag the corner of this overlay and just kind of match it up to my webcam, which is looking pretty good. And you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to do micro movement to get it just how you want. That looks pretty good to me. And if you notice, if I go and drag something, it's not going to drag both, and that sucks. So I'm going to hit Control Z, find that back up. And what we're going to do is right click on a blank section of the sources, and I'm going to hit Add, and we're going to do Group, which is going to be basically a folder. So I'm just going to have this webcam folder, I guess you could say, and then hit OK. So I'm going to drag both of these. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to highlight the other one by holding Shift and clicking that to highlight both. I'm going to drag these guys into the webcam folder like so, and make sure that the webcam overlay is still above the webcam. It's looking good. But this way, now, instead of like moving them individually, we can click on the webcam folder and it'll move them both at the same time. So that way you don't have to worry about it. Then you can just put it on the screen wherever your little heart desires, like so. And it looks clean right there. I dig it. I'm going to put it right there. That's fine. So now we have our webcam, we got the game, and let's add our chat because we have already done it before, so it's going to be easy to reset up. So I'm going to add a browser source. Same thing. We're going to add existing, add chat. Okay. Boom. We got our kick chat. let's just put it over here on the screen. I think that looks fine. So we got our just chatting scene, which we can switch to by clicking that. And then we have our gameplay scene. And that's a pretty basic setup for streaming. So now we have the nitty gritty, the not fun part, the settings, which are very important. And if you skip a step in the settings, then you're gonna screw yourself. So please don't skip around. I'll try and make it as easy as possible and explain it in words that literally your mom can understand. Grab a drink, take a breather, and let's head into the settings. So go to the bottom right corner where it says settings, click settings, and we're gonna start with the general tab. The general tab has a bunch of stuff that's basically just quality of life stuff, so you really don't have to do anything here. Though, if you wanna change it up from looking dark and depressing, you can change the theme to my personal favorite, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Rockney? Ratchney? I think Ratchney because it sounds ratchet. Has anyone even said ratchet in the past like 10 years? I digress. So you can change the theme to make it look a little bit nicer, and that's pretty much all you'd want to do right here. You can also change some of this stuff here, like having a confirmation dialogue when your stream starts, but it's really up to you. So once you've changed everything you wanted to change here, we're gonna hit apply and move on to the stream tab. Now you might be freaking out here, and that's okay, I did too, but all you have to do is click on service, and we're gonna do a custom service because Kick doesn't have their own category yet at the recording of this video. So I'm gonna hit custom, and then we gotta head over to Kick to get our server and stream key, all right? So let's head over to Kick. So in order to find this sensitive information, we're gonna go to the top right corner, click on our little guy, and then go to the settings tab. Then from here, we're gonna go click on the stream key tab on the side, and then we have our stream URL and our stream key. Do not show your stream key to literally anybody because they will be able to hijack your Kick stream and stream whatever they want, whenever they want. So do not show anyone your stream key. But first, we're gonna copy the stream URL by clicking this convenient little copy button there. Go and paste it in OBS, click on server and then Control V, go back to Kick. Then we're gonna click this little copy button right here and copy our stream key. So we're gonna go back to OBS and we're gonna paste in our stream key with Control V, and there we go, we're good to go. So now when we hit apply, our stream key is now connected to Kick, which is a good thing. And if you run into issues later, I'm gonna circle back on that later, so make sure to stay tuned for that. So now we're gonna move to the output tab, which is arguably everyone's least favorite tab, and I understand why, but it is probably the most important tab, so please pay attention. So first off, you're gonna change your output mode from simple to advanced, and you'll be able to see everything that I see. So we're gonna start with streaming settings, and you can see we have our streaming settings audio track set to 1. Basically, any audio track that we decide to send to audio track 1 will be sent to our Kick stream. Makes sense, right? For the audio encoder, this is fine, but the video encoder is probably the most important thing to worry about, because if your stream starts and then ends and then starts and ends and starts and ends and just freaks out, chances are you probably picked the wrong video encoder. Now, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, chances are you will have NVIDIA NVENC H.264, like this one right here, and I'd recommend choosing that. However, if you don't have that, you'll likely be using X264, but if you have a bunch of different options like this, you might want to go to your friend Google and Google to see which encoder is going to be the best for you, because everyone's computer is different and everyone has a different graphics card. So just want to make sure that you're using the right encoder for your setup. So if you're using NVIDIA NVENC H.264, I'll go over that first. And if you don't have that, I'll go over X264 after, so sit tight. So we're gonna do NVIDIA NVENC H.264, and then we're gonna go down to the encoder settings, which we can, why did it scroll and mess that up? There we go. I'm gonna choose my rate control to be CBR, and Kick has a bitrate cap of 8,000 kilobits per second. So if you wanna stream at 8,000 kilobits per second, by all means, but the bit rate is basically going to depend on what internet speed that you have. So if you have a really good internet speed, you can chance it at 8,000 kilobits per second to give you the best quality for Kick servers. But what I like to stream at is 6,000 kilobits per second because I feel like that's a good median and good average for a lot of people. So you can feel free to start with 6,000 and then lower it if you're like dropping frames and your stream is like stuttering and looks like crap. Or if it can handle it, you can try bumping it up to 8,000 after you've done a couple streams and your computer's doing okay. But a lot about streaming and streaming settings is experimentation. So if you have a couple crappy streams when you first get started, that's completely normal because everyone has different internet speeds and different computer setups. So it's really hard to give you the perfect one for your specific situation. So I'm gonna do CBR 6,000 kilobits per second, 1 second keyframe interval. Then I'm gonna use all of these other things right here. So if you just want to copy them, if you have these settings, then that would be fantastic. But if you don't have this NVIDIA encoder, you can switch it to X264. You're going to be able to change the rate control to CBR. Same thing for the bit rate. I'll start at 6,000. I'm going to leave the keyframe interval at 0, CPU usage at very fast, and then I'm going to have the profile set to main or high. I'll probably set it to high to begin with, and then that'll be your settings for CBR X264. So once you have your output settings set up, honestly, just take a deep breath in and out, because this is probably the most confusing part of the entire video. So if you're still here, you're good to go. We're going to keep on chugging along. So we're going to jump to the audio tab at the top, not the one at the side yet. We'll get there. We're going to go to audio at the top and then click on 320 for all of the audio bit rates to give you the best audio quality, all right? Then we can go to the replay buffer tab, and I'm just going to disable this because I do this in a separate video later in this Kick playlist, so go ahead and watch that later. But I'm just going to disable it and hit apply, and if you guys were wondering why that button was there, well, there you go. But I'll cover that later. So we can move on to the actual audio tab right here, change your sample rate to 48, channel stereo, and this is where you're going to set up your desktop audio, which is going to capture all of the audio that comes out of your computer. So that includes your game volume, any music you play through Spotify on like a Chrome browser or whatever, that's going to be through here. So instead of clicking disabled, I'm going to choose whatever my audio output is for my computer. I usually go with default, and it's going to use whatever my Windows audio setting is set to default. But if that isn't giving you your audio, you can go and change whatever speaker your music and whatever is coming out of through this little list. So I'm just going to roll with default, but if you have issues, try experimenting. Then we're going to go to mic/auxiliary audio, and we're obviously going to add our microphone. I'm going to use my microphone, which is the Rode PodMic USB. And I also have all of my streaming gear linked down in the description below at the very bottom, so check that out for recommendations. But I got my desktop audio set up, I got my mic audio set up, and then you can just copy these settings here, but most of them, I believe, are just on by default, so they should be the same. But one thing, and this usually affects 1 in 100 people, if you're having a weird audio issue for whatever reason, try messing with disable Windows audio ducking. I think I just have it on by default, so if you're having this weird audio problem with like ducking and like coming in and out and stuff, then try messing with that. But that's really all you need to do for the audio tab, and check this out. I'm gonna drag this up for a second. But as soon as I hit apply, it's going to add our audio sources. So I'm going to hit OK. We're going to take a quick little tangent. Now you can see that it's picking up my desktop audio, which is Hollow Knight in the background. And whenever I'm talking, it's popping up in my mic audio, right? So that's cool. And you can adjust the volume with these little sliders. So if one is louder than the other, you can adjust properly. And if you notice, the webcam overlay also has like an audio bar, but there's no like volume coming out of it. So if you wanted to hide it, you could click these little dots and then click hide, so that way you don't have to see it. But what you could also do is if you don't want to mess with that and you're worried it might mess something up, you can click unhide all with these little dots here, just drag it all the way down. But I mean, it's not going to make any audio anyways, so it's really personal preference. But we can click these little gear icons here for the advanced audio properties. And you remember how I said that all of our Kick audio is coming through track 1? So we just have, by default, our mic volume and our desktop audio is set to all tracks, which is fine. We just have to make sure that everything we want our Kick stream to hear will be enabled on track 1. So desktop audio, track 1, fantastic, they can hear it. And then mic/aux, track 1, they can hear it. Fantastic, that's perfect. That's all we got to worry about. So that's the little clarification on that. So we can hit close. We're going to go back to the settings now that our audio is good. Click settings. We're going to go back to the audio tab. Just kidding. We're moving on to video. We're cruising through this. The base canvas resolution is going to be the size of the monitor that you're playing on. So I'm playing on a 1080p monitor, so therefore it's going to be 1080p. The output scaled resolution is the resolution you want to stream at. So I want to stream at 1080p, 60 frames per second. So my output is going to be 1080, and then my FPS, which is common FPS values, I'm going to set to 60. So 1080p, 60 frames per second. If you don't think that your computer or internet can handle that quality at 1080p, 60 frames per second, you can also lower it to, let's say, 720p, 60 frames per second, or you could even drop it down to 30 frames per second. But honestly, I wouldn't go much lower than 720, 30 frames per second. And if you have different resolutions here, like I'm going 1080 to 720, but these don't match, you're going to have to use a downscale filter. And in that case, use Lanskos because it'll give you the best quality when doing so. Also, I should mention this, that I'm not sure if Kick is doing this anymore, but I believe if you have less than 2 Kick viewers on average, then they're automatically going to limit you to 720p. I'm not sure if they're doing that anymore still, but if you're streaming at, let's say, 1080p, 60 frames per second, and you go to actually watch your Kick stream and it's coming out 720, it's likely that is the reason. And you can't control that other than obviously getting more viewers, which you can watch my playlist on how to grow your stream after you watch this video. So I want to stream at 1080p, 60 frames per second. We're good to go. We're going to hit apply and move on to the hotkeys tab. Hotkeys are a beautiful quality of life setting, which basically, if you want to set a hotkey for an action, like anytime I press on the letter, I don't know, let's say K, then it will automatically start my stream. And if I want to have a hotkey for stopping the stream, I'll do P, then I can have it like that. However, those are horrible hotkeys to pick because I'm gonna be pressing those all the freaking time. So what I'd recommend is if your keyboard has like a number pad on the side of it, I'd recommend using those number pad keys because they are different than the regular number keys, if that makes sense. However, if you are using the number pad as your hotkeys like I do, you're gonna wanna make sure, I believe the num lock has to be on. So make sure to turn the num lock on and then it will work. But if you're using them and they're not working, make sure the num lock is turned on. Or if you have a weird keyboard, then make sure it's off. I'm not sure, but num lock on, you can use the number pad if that works for you. But if you don't want to use these hotkeys, and I don't blame you because they can be a little confusing at times, just hit this little clear button and you can clear on both. You can literally scroll for days because there's so many different hotkeys like push to talk, push to mute, hiding things, transitions, switching between your scenes and all that. So if you can, feel free to get your hands dirty. I also have a separate video on that later in the playlist, so you can check that out later if you want. So moving on to the accessibility tab, this is if you want to change the colors of different things. I won't really mess with this. This is quality of life stuff, so we can move on to advanced tab. I'm not gonna mess with any of this except one important setting. I'm going to enable dynamically change bitrate to manage congestion. And what this will do, let's say that you're streaming Call of Duty and then your stream is going great, but let's say your significant other starts streaming like a 4K movie through like Netflix, right? And your internet's just like freaking out. I don't have enough bandwidth to run both of these. So what will happen naturally is that your stream will start to stutter and you'll talk like this and you'll like freak out and stuff, right? So by enabling this setting, what it's going to do is it's going to lower the quality of your stream. So you'll just like have less quality, like it'll be obviously looking worse, but you won't stutter around like that. And it's just going to dynamically change your bit rate. So, you know, lower it when it needs to lower it until your significant other like stops streaming Netflix while you're streaming. And then it'll bring it back up automatically when you have more bandwidth to be able to do so. So that's, I think, is a very, very useful setting, and I recommend having it on. So make sure to enable that, click apply, and then hit OK. So quick little recap. We got our chat on the left-hand side here. We got our just chatting scene. We got our gameplay scene. We got our audio correctly set up. Everything's looking good to go. So once you're ready, let's go over to Kick real quick. We're going to go to the top right corner and go to the creator dashboard. And this is going to be your hub for looking everything related to your stream besides OBS. So if you want to see how many viewers you have, how many followers, you're going to look at this creator dashboard here because it'll show up under your activity feed for your followers and subs and all that. But what we want to do before we actually go live is go to the edit stream info right here, which might be hidden under your quick actions. So we'll click on edit stream info. Then you can change your title to what you're going to stream. So I'll just say Hollow Knight, change my category to Hollow Knight, and then change whatever else you want, like language, mature audiences, because, you know, we can get a little saucy sometimes. And then just basically change everything you want. Obviously, I can't save, and I think it's a glitch because you just need to change the category. I haven't done any changes from my last one, so literally, I'll just make a quick change, Hollow Knight. So we can now save it. So our title is now Hollow Knight, category is Hollow Knight. That's a really crappy title. Go watch another one of my videos on how to make good titles, but I'll hit save. And so that's going to be our stream info when we actually go live. So let's go to OBS and go live. So we're in OBS Studio, we're ready to go. We're gonna hit this start streaming button, and then we're gonna look in the bottom right corner. So this is very important. So as you can see, we're streaming 60 frames per second, good. CPU usage, only about 2%, that's not bad. We've been live for 10 seconds. This is important right here. So we got about 6,300 kilobits. This is green. That means we're not dropping any frames as indicated by 0. So the settings that we picked out for our computer internet speed are handling it quite well right now. Now, if this is yellow or red, you're going to want to go back and lower the bit rate, or you might want to lower the resolution to like 720, all right? And that's going to depend on your internet speed and your computer. But let's go over to Kick and see how it looks. So now we're over on Kick. It's running. It looks great. So I'm going to send a couple messages just to see how our chat looks on the screen. As you can see, there's about a 1 to 2 second delay, but that's totally normal. You can't really do much better than that. And it just looks fantastic, right? Now, there's a couple more important things that I want to show you, like showing your VODs and all that stuff. So let's go over to OBS and end the stream. Let's go to OBS. We're going to hit stop streaming. Let's go back to Kick. So now it says our channel is currently offline, but it still says streaming. That's totally normal. It's going to be about a minute. Give it about a minute or two. Then you can refresh this and it will say stop streaming, or just like end it or whatever. It'll say 0 because it's not live. But you are not live anymore, right? Even though that says streaming, don't freak out. That's normal. And real quick, while we wait for that to load, drop a quick like on this video so other people can find it. And you can check out my new website, which is linked down below. And you can get my free streamer's cheat sheet, which will tell you what to do before, during, and after your stream to start growing your stream, as well as sign up for my free streaming tips newsletter. Or you can check out coaching or my video content review service if I'm still offering it, or my ultimate guide to starting a Twitch channel course. Basically, everything you're going to need streaming related is going to be on the website as well. So feel free to check it out. But now you can see that my stream has officially ended. We're offline. So what we want to do now is go to the Studio tab, if it's still called Studio. There's renaming stuff all the time. We're going to click on VODs, and then you can see our past broadcast right here. So we can click it, and you'll be able to watch it. If we press the little play button, I don't know why I'm saying play instead of play, and you'll be able to watch your past broadcast right here. You can change the quality on the bottom right corner, and boom, there you go. Looking good, looking clean. And if your stream is having trouble like connecting and disconnecting, then you're going to want to change your encoder. And if you're just not being able to stream at all and you got like a black screen or whatever, then you'll likely want to go into your settings and then go to stream key and reset your stream key, and then copy the new stream key into your OBS settings, because that's been known to fix it as well. But now if you want to learn how to set up your Kick alerts or Kick donations or Kick subs or literally anything related to Kick, then continue watching this playlist to the side of me. My name's Cody, and I'll see you in the next one.
I see.
Tay chân đâu hết rồi nào.
عمي يلا نزلت مكانك هنا. لا الدراري 15 كاب الزربة اللي ما دايرش فولو كليك على الفولو، ماكس فولو ماكس بارتاج. شوف اللايف واش مطلق لكم مزيان. يلا تكابس. فولو فوق.
تقعدني بس روح الناس انا مستقعدني
Kill.
لا تقول لي هو اللي فوق. لا هو والله يمكن لأنه نط وأعتقد فوق غدرني والله. علقت يا رب لا يمين لا يسار زراعة المسدس أسطورة أسطورة المسدس هذا العجل ما أقول أسطورة المسدس جيم من 10 جيم فزنا هنطلع خمسة الماسي شو اسمه
Custom 1 versus 1. White, dal, no, dal. White, custom match. Team code 2864364. Habibi, dal, kullu nafar. Dal, kafalik habibi. Like, follow. Zero. Password. Zero. Dal. Password zero. Password zero. Password zero. Dal. Shukran, habibi. Like. Comment. Hacker. Real red. كيف عليك نفر حبيبي؟
Two versus two. There. Oh yes, dal. 2 versus 2. 2 versus 2, dal. Are. مشكلة شوبر نبر كله نبر شوبر شوية شوبر حبيبي. أنا يجي أيوه offline. Hello. أيوه start. hello. Two versus two. Hello حبيبي كيف الحال؟ كيف حالك؟ كويس.
First blood.
والله هكذا
Resources here. Resources here.
Like.
Double kill.
Burada. İşte bir de leader var. هلا لا ما في ايش هذا؟
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
كيف حالك يا صديقي؟
ايوه كويس سنايبر ما في
خلاص.
نافر برا كله نافر برا.
Double kill.
ما في موزس
Got a gun!
Hot drop. Stay alert.
me!
Triple kill.
هلا هلا.
شو صار مازال منع صح قرب. عرفتي شنو وقع لي؟ كتعرف تكريت ديال بلاتي منه. نقز هنا.
اش قلتي شكون كتعرف؟
ديك ريد ديد ديال واحد خونا كيبقى يتمشى فوق واحد العود، كيبقى يمشي كيبقى يطايف وكذا.
مانا
هاديك دابا درتها كتدخل مع ديك، دابا هي فيها 100 جيجا فهمتي، وهكا درتها كتدخل وصلت ديك ل5 الصباح وانا نلقى في فيسبوك ديك راه يقطعوا الضو في هذا فازرو. وهي شحال وصلت ل 50% فهمتي، بقات هي 50%.
نوفر مود نوفر.
وانا نقطعها وما قطعوش الضو نيت، وهي تعاود لي من الاول.
واش ندير لك هنا؟
يجي
كون انا واحد من الاوائم، انت اللي ضربتي الاوائم اشرف.
كويس.
قلبنا على بان.
Still on cooldown.
واحد غتجي منها.
وايد.
ياي
تقل على فاش تحت الجا.
ما عندي كيفاش غندير، عندي 15 في الدم. يلا ودي يبسني.
عطاني هيد الناس خونا ما تسقلنيش. عندك
ربا
نسخرش
يورك يا رب. كيفاش متشابه هذا؟
اوه نو.
الموتين يبسني بالنقر.
عرفتي مقطرات خونا.
لا هاد القدمه هنا الدعوه مخلطه.
Hot drop. Stay alert.
ايش هذا؟ هلا هلا.
Help me! Help me!
قلب قلب قلب. ايوه
Capturing the revival point.
شي طور صعيب شي طور. هو صاحبي.
Thanks. Help me.
Ignat करे
Help me.
दरवाजा खोल भी तो लाइट जला ओड़े ना पड़ा FFMO. Okay, okay, okay, okay, okay. Adna.
35 ها. تخرجوش ها، ما تخرجوش نورمال ما تعاود تدخلني للجو. عاود دخلت. ساتانا موجود ولا؟ هوت اللي اخوي هذا قالوا عليه مزيت، هذا هوت اللي ربح الروم الجاي. يا ساتانا هذا قالوا عليه المزيت، هذا هو. قالوا لي يا صاحبي
تعال تعال تعال. Password 0. Password 0. تعال تعال. كلنا فور تعال تعال. 2 versus 2, 4 versus 4. Anyone تعال. دال دال كلنا for دال. ID 1315530007. Password 0. 13155307. Password 0. Dal dal. دال دال دال حبيبي دال. وين موجود؟ custom ID room ID 1315530007. دال دال. Akbar galti kayati yati yati yati. تعال حبيبي تعال حبيبي كفى عليك. تعال تعال. Akbar galti kayati. تعال تعال تعال. تعال حبيبي تعال حبيبي حبيبي تعال حبيبي. 1 versus 1. تعال تعال. ليش ما يجي؟ حرك حرك. يلا حرك حرك حرك. اكبر قلبي كياتي ياتي ياتي ياتي. حبيبي تعال تعال. ليش حبيبي ليش ما في؟ ليش ما يجي؟ يلا حرك حرك. يلا حرك حرك. اكبر قلبي كياتي ياتي ياتي ياتي.
وحيد نافور تعال كاستوم اي دي حرك كاستوم روم يلا حرك يلا روم حرك يلا حرك نويدي اوكي باسورد 0 يلا تعال نو يلا حرك أوب. اكبر قلتي كوياتي ياتي يلا حرك وايد نبور تعال ماجيك دي جي ماجيك